Good afternoon. My name is Renato Nazzini. I'm a professor at the Dixon Poon School of Law and the current director of the Center of Construction Law and Dispute Resolution. Welcome to everybody to this 35th anniversary conference. It was raised yesterday why we are celebrating the 35th anniversary. It may be a little bit odd to some of you. Generally, one celebrates the 10th, the 20th, the 30th, the 50th. I asked Julian Bailey, so he's on tomorrow. So we had this idea over a bottle of wine behind the Bank of England a year ago or so. But here you go, 35th anniversary of the Centre. You all know about the Centre, but that was, I think, our opportunity also to reflect on what the Centre has done, has achieved, and what we are doing. And I would say we are doing really four things that can be, you can see them as distinct, but they're really probably just different facets of our core mission, if you want. Of course, the first thing that we do is to deliver world-leading executive education to construction practitioners from all over the world, bringing in the knowledge of English construction law, global construction law and comparative law, but also inputs from many other disciplines, true to our vocation of interdisciplinarity that the Centre started in the Department of Civil Engineering, not in the law school. Of course, also to conduct research that is academically rigorous, but also has an impact on the practice of the law and industry more generally. And we'll talk about some of these research projects during the course of today and tomorrow. I don't want to anticipate anything. We always engage with those who in current jargon, perhaps not very elegantly, are called nowadays stakeholders. So the legal professions, of course, the bar and the solicitor's profession, but also the judiciary, obviously, who have been throughout the years, and you'll see today and tomorrow as well, as supportive of the Centre, and non-legal professions as well. Many of our students, our alumni, therefore, are non-lawyers, engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, and construction professionals more generally. And we always and constantly cooperate with the outside world. You'll see an example of that today with the work that we did on construction adjudication. The second thing I just wanted to say very briefly, how did we get here? It is a long story, but I want to say just a couple of things. I mean, we owe that to the vision of Professor John Uff, who is sitting here at the table today, and is going to give a paper on the development of construction law over the past 35 years. Professor Uff is the founder of the Centre, and of course also to the vision and great ambitions for us, which have all come true, of Professor Philip Kapler, who has been the other driving force at the onset of the Centre and has continued to be to this day, like John. But I also would like to pay tribute to the other former directors that are here today and will chair or give papers, Professor David Mosey, John Barber, and Philip Britton. I also would like to thank very much on behalf, especially of all our students, Sue Hart. Her name resonates with everybody who has done the MSc in the past, I think 15, maybe 20 years. She really keeps it all together and makes the Centre function smoothly, apparently smoothly to the outside world, I perhaps should say. And the third thing I would like to say, really to thank all the chairs and the speakers and those of you who are here today in person, and of course those who are joining us from very many jurisdictions and in great numbers online as well. I think many of you, or almost all of you, I think, have studied at the Centre, have contributed to the Centre in one way or another, and I think your very presence today is a testament to what we have done. I said at the beginning, we are now part and parcel, we have been for a very long time, of the Dixon-Poon School of Law. And I'm very grateful to Professor Dan Hunter, the Executive Dean of the Law Faculty of the Dixon-Poon School of Law, for taking time out of his very busy schedule to address us today. One thing, I mean, I would just say that we are very lucky to have him as an Executive Dean. He has huge experience already in very senior academic position. He was Executive Dean at the Faculty of Law at Queensland University of Technology and founding Dean of the Swinburne Law School in Australia. But importantly for us at the center, is really one of the world leading experts in law and technology, AI and application of IT in the legal sphere, and obviously this is one of the themes that are going to be key to the construction industry over the next years and perhaps decades. So Dan, thank you very much for being here with us. Over to you.
Thank you, Renato. Thank you, Renato, and welcome everybody. So I'm Dan Hunter, as Renato said. I'm the Dean here at the Dixon-Poon School of Law, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you here to this 35th celebration, or a celebration of 35 years of the Centre for Construction Law and Dispute Resolution. Today we're here in the Great Hall of the King's Building, one of the Grade 1 listed buildings here on the Strand campus at King's. The architect of Buckingham Palace, Sir John Nash, offered his services free of charge to design this hall and also this building, but King's turned him down and instead went with the architect of the British Museum, Sir Robert Smirke, since Smirke was designing Somerset House, which is just across the quad and is the place where the Dixon-Poon School of Law lives. So it seems even then King's was a ridiculously selective institution, turning down really remarkable people, which if you have any kids in your family, you might have had that experience where my kids can't even get into this place. Whenever I come over to this building, I'm struck by the palatial surrounds in which we live and which we work, and the grandeur that we find ourselves in is reflective also of really what I would characterize as the majesty of King's College. King's is one of England's and the world's great universities. It was founded in 1829 specifically as a consequence of religious observance. That is to say, it was intended to be a place where religions that were otherwise excluded were included. And that particular sensibility lives to this day, both within the college and also within the school, and I'll talk about the school in a minute. Some of the most important academic advances in the world took place here, and actually, literally, in one case, just about 50 yards from where we sit today. So academic members of the college include 14 Nobel laureates, as well as the Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing, Lord Lister, the inventor of aseptic surgery, Peter Higgs, who postulated the existence of the Higgs boson more recently, and Rosalind Franklin, who, together with her collaborators, took photograph 51, just literally, as I said, out there in the quad that you've walked across the place where that photograph was taken, and that photograph confirmed the hypothesis that DNA was helical. The Dixon-Poon School of Law is no less significant than the college in which it sits. It includes a range of there are no Nobel laureates in law. It's an outrage. I was going to say, there are so many actually we don't have any Nobel laureates, but we do have a range of notable academics and alums. Some of you are alums here, and I welcome you specifically. But the school is currently ranked, depending on who you talk to, either 15th in the world or 20th in the world. 15th in the world is the QS rankings, 20th in the world is the Times Higher Education rankings. Obviously, the QS rankings are much more methodologically sound, and I need to have a word to the Times editors. We're a notably diverse institution, and in keeping with our transnational name, we have an extraordinarily large range of international collaborators, staff, and students. And I think this is right. I'm going to say this, but hopefully no one's recording it, because I'm not sure that I can verify it. But I have been told that we have students from 130 different countries currently studying here at King's. Now that seems strange, but I'll check it out. I will find out. We also have, obviously, many research centres, including the one that we are celebrating today and that we're joined here today to talk about, and that's the Centre for Construction Law and Dispute Resolution celebrating its 35th anniversary. So this centre is the leading institution in construction law worldwide, and we're incredibly proud of the work of the centre and to host it within the law school. Over the last 35 years, it's done an enormous range of work, and most recently, there have been a series of projects, including a report on adjudication, 2022 Construction Adjudication in the United Kingdom, Tracing Trends and Guiding Reform by Professor Nazzini and Alexander Kullitz, with the support of the Adjudication Society, and that has its London launch in a couple of hours, and I believe that there are a range of, or a number of copies at the back there, which are either for sale at a very reasonable price or free of charge if you're attending here. I'm not sure, I need to talk to Renato. He hasn't given me one, I have to say. It's described by Lord Justice Colson in his foreword as a seminal moment in the story of this unique dispute resolution process. Professor Nazzini has also been busy editing 2 books over the last 5 years on construction arbitration and dispute resolution, to which many members of the Centre have contributed. And Professor David Mosey of the Centre has been equally busy co-writing a paper on procuring net zero construction and a large report entitled Constructing the Gold Standard, an independent review of public sector construction frameworks, which was commissioned by the Cabinet Office, which sets out recommendations towards combining net zero carbon targets and profitability in procurement, topics which are obviously extremely relevant and important for a college and a school committed to sustainability. Turning to teaching, as I imagine all of you know, the Centre has a thriving MSc program. Some of you are alums of that program, now in its 35th year, attracting students from all over the world who are typically senior construction professionals, lawyers, engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, and project managers. The Centre also delivers a popular annual summer school in partnership with the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, where a small cohort of students, including a significant number of international students, study the ins and outs of contracts that are drawn up by the Federation. As you can see, the Centre is a remarkably active and vital contributor to the sector, to the school and to the college. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you here to this celebration, to this conference, and to hand the microphone back to Professor Nazzini to undertake the beginning of the conference proper. Professor Nazzini.
Thank you, Dan.